All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need a.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Hello.
Better now.
All right. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Three Cocktails In. You've got Amy, Stacy, and Kitty checking in for another addicting conversation.
Truly.
Yep.
We are going to revisit an earlier conversation that we had on our Oscars, the Oscar nominees, the Oscar winners this year. And we wanted to give ourselves a few weeks. Let's see, we talked about this back in March, right? And we are now into May. So we wanted to give ourselves and our viewers and our listeners some time to take in some of the movies. And we did not watch all of them. We just wanted to have another follow-up conversation on it. So that's where we're going tonight.
Yes. So how many people, pretty much and I'm talking to everybody now, did everybody get to watch Conclave now so we can understand what's going on?
I mean, how incredibly timely.
Right? Isn't that just crazy? Yeah.
I learned so much watching Conclave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if it's in the movie, it's true.
I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. You know, the process, I'm sure that's kind of true. You know, all the drama behind it, I question that, but I never know.
Well, I think there is drama.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
different factions that, you know, like everything, to develop some cohesion, a quorum.
Yes, that's right. And so now they've been, as they're getting ready for the real conclave, they were installing the chimney for when they give the signal that the new pope has been chosen. And they were also talking about burning the ballots. And that was something that I didn't know anything about. So I loved it. I thought it was I was glued to it. I thought it was great. Yeah. Bill enjoyed it too.
Did you watch it before or after the Pope died?
After.
Oh, you did? Okay. Really interesting. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. That was one that I managed to watch before the Pope died.
Okay.
That was one I was really interested in. And from the movie standpoint, to me, that is what an Oscar type movie. In my mind, that's kind of what I think of when I think of an Oscar winner. That cast was amazing.
Based on the huge cast, the movie, I'm going to be the statistician tonight.
Perfect.
The movie got nominated for 8 categories, but only won 1, the best adapted screenplay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did I think they won for costumes, which made me laugh because I'm like, how tough was that? They were nominated for costumes though, weren't they?
Might have been. But yeah, the only one they won was Best Adapted Screenplay. It's a book, a novel. So that got, that's where it was adapted from that. So yeah, I really liked it too. And again, most of those actors in that, I like anyway. So surprised that it didn't do better. But
I don't usually watch, other than the classics, I don't usually watch movies multiple times. And by classics, I mean Wizard of Oz, Dirty Dancing,
classic.
Those right up there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I would watch this again because I feel like now that I know what the story is, now I would like to watch it for the nuance.
Yeah.
Like when you read a really good book, you're just in it for the mystery that you kind of miss some of the details. I think that would be a good one to watch again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think from that, are we saying 3 thumbs up for Conclave? Yeah, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Should watch. If you haven't watched it, you should
Yes.
watch it.
And
Yep.
here ends my participation in this conversation.
Oh.
I
And
did
that-
not do a good
Of
job.
all of the movies, too, I think you can watch it for free on Prime Video. So that's one I didn't have to pay for. A lot of them I did have to pay for.
Yeah.
Okay. What should we do
So,
tonight?
well, Amy, you saw I thought you saw Wicked. Oh, good
I have
Lord.
never seen Wicked, not on stage,
Okay.
not anything, and I never read the book.
It's a
Yeah,
book.
I
I didn't know it was a
just-
book.
I'm the outlier.
Yeah.
I guess.
So Wicked was the one that won for costume design, right?
Yes. Costume
Yes.
design and best production design, whatever that is. Yeah,
Yeah.
nominated for 10 awards, won those 2, which I would agree with. The costume design was pretty great. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
yeah.
I think, in this conversation, and maybe I'm more interested in a conversation around why are they Oscar worthy? How does the voting happen and things like that? Because Anora was the big winner, and I watched it. Bill didn't watch it. It was one of the movies that I watched during the day while I was working, and I was so incredibly disturbed by it.
That seems like I could watch Days of Our Lives or Anora.
I know.
I'll pick that.
I found it to be so incredibly depressing
Yes.
and disgusting. And I'm not a prude, but I had a hard time watching it, and I had to keep turning it off, and then I would go back and turning it up because it was so disgusting and dirty in certain parts of it. For those of you who watched it, you know what I'm talking about. And I was just like, yeah, I just don't care for movies like that.
Yeah.
So this is one of those that made me think that we just found out that now everybody who votes has to watch the movies. We were all blown away by the idea that you didn't have to watch the movies and you could vote.
Right. And now they do, but it's weird that they didn't used to, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
So Kitty, when you're asking why is it a winner, why isn't one? I wonder I wonder if everybody had to watch all of them, if it would have been the same.
Well, yes, that's a good question. So I think this one in particular was getting a lot of press this year. So it clinched 5 Oscars: Best Picture, Director, Original Screenplay, Best Film Editing, and Best Actress.
Right.
And it's considered an indie drama. No, indie dramedy. So there was a comedy aspect to this that I'm just like, what? No, I don't get it.
No.
And but I think there was sort of a focus on these smaller productions. And I think we see that across some of the other movies as well. But okay, we need to look up that term, indie dramedy.
Well, I think that I've heard it a lot more. The whole idea that it's a dramedy. Is that what they're calling? I've heard it before, and all that means to me is it's a really there's smartassery in this drama. Is it a term that they're trying to use to make it seem so it's not like this dark, depressing movie to try and get other people to watch it? It seems like a marketing ploy to me.
Yeah, because it's not the least bit funny ever. I swear, based on that it won Best Picture and Best Actress, just like the winner last year, which I had it on the tip of my tongue and now I don't know. Both just very shocking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the story was good, and I wouldn't say anything was good about it, but it's shocking. Way different than a Conclave and a Wicked and a Dune and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very way out there. That's for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't have picked it. I also would not have picked her for Best Actress as well. I mean, there was certainly better. Her character was, I mean, I'm sure it took a lot to do the movie, but was she the best actress? I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, I've got a little intel on this. So Anora is considered a dramedy because while it has a funny premise, a stripper marrying a Russian oligarch's son, that's the funny situation. It explores deeper themes like love, control, and independence. So, yeah.
No.
I know.
Okay. Yeah. So what Amy touched on a little bit earlier, and I think you sent us that little piece of information, or maybe Stacy did. One of you sent us that you don't, as a voting member of the Academy, you don't have to watch all of the movies. They've now changed that requirement, and now you do. So we were kind of blown away by that, and for me, it takes a lot of the clout away for any of the winners in the past. Kind of
Right.
takes the clout away from me.
It becomes a popularity contest.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
It becomes a marketing award.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so drawing a comparison here, I mean, picking the next pope is the same thing, right? So as we learned in Conclave, and maybe this is more common knowledge to people, it just wasn't to me. I'm not Catholic. I didn't really know anything about how a pope is selected, but that if you are one of the cardinals who is favored to be the next pope, you're basically in the conclave and you're volleying for your position. You're trying to get people to vote for you. That's a popularity contest as well.
Yeah, I agree. For a very important position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys, we should do one of our what's in your Google history again sometime soon because I got a whole bunch of stuff related.
That you were asking, that you were researching.
Yes, yes, including how much does the Pope make?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
How
a
much
lot.
does the Pope make?
A lot. Millions.
A lot. But don't they usually not take it? I mean, I think this.
What do
Don't
they
they
need
usually
it for?
give it back? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
They don't have any heirs.
Yeah.
The most recent Pope did not take an income because he was wealthy on his own before he became Pope, extremely. So, but yeah, I don't know. Just
Did you want to run for Pope? Is that why you were
no
looking?
no, just curious. And since we've got
Yeah.
these pocket calculators, Bill and I are always like,
I wonder.
Google that.
Yeah.
Google that.
Kitty, did you see The Brutalist?
No, I did not watch that one.
Okay, I'll give you a quick. So this is a post-World War II epic. A Hungarian-born Jewish architect who survives the Holocaust immigrates to the U.S. where he struggles to achieve the American dream until a wealthy client changes his life. So that's a quick synopsis. I really liked it, even though it was like a 3-hour movie. It had I think, was it the one that had the intermission? I believe it was. Oddly dark, but I kind of liked it. I really did. And I can understand for this one why Adrian Brody won for Best Actor. It also won Best Original Score, which that one surprised me, by the way, just on a side note, because I don't remember any of the music, to it. So that's interesting. And Best Cinematography, which I would say that was probably good. So yeah, I really liked it. I give a thumbs up to that one if anybody's wondering whether to watch it. So anyway.
Yeah, and I mean what I'm hoping comes out of these couple of conversations that we've had about these movies is that maybe it will prompt someone to pull them up and and take a look at them. I mean, really, most of them are available to us on any number of the streaming services that we have, and so it's because everybody's always looking for content, right? What's everybody watching?
Yeah.
I would like to watch this one just because I'm such a history buff and
yeah, you would like it. You would really like it. Yeah, it was interesting.
For the 3-hour part.
I know. Yeah, but I didn't know. Sometimes you're just really bored, and it's like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to go on? It drags. It was not draggy. I thought it was okay. I liked it a lot.
All right.
So I think you'd like it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, Stacy, how did they do an intermission?
Well, I mean, streaming, it just said intermission, and it just stopped for I don't know how long. You know what I mean? And then I just fast forwarded through the intermission. I'm sure they just,
let everybody go get a
let
refill
everybody
get
stand up
in the bathroom.
Probably. I don't know how long it would have been in a theater, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. So anyway. Okay. What else did you watch, Kitty?
A Complete Unknown. So, and that one, I didn't really think that I was going to be interested in watching it because I've never really been much of a Bob Dylan fan, but I really enjoyed it. Just like I've enjoyed some of these other biopics that have been done, like Freddie Mercury and Elton John. And I really enjoyed it. And again, it's, I've learned things that I didn't know before, and I really enjoyed Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. I was surprised. I think doing some research on it, I think he sang. I mean, I think it was him really singing, which is interesting how he, did that. I agree. I liked it fine. Not near as well as, the Elton John and Queen, but it also nominated for 8, won 0, if you can believe that. Didn't win any awards. So, but yeah, it was a solid movie. I liked it.
And I wonder if that one in particular, because because Kitty, what you said about it was very similar to what my sister Anne said when we had her on. She wasn't a Bob Dylan fan. She didn't really know anything about him. She didn't think she was going to like it. And it turns out she really did like it because she learned so much about the music scene at that time. So I'm wondering if it didn't win anything because not everybody had to watch it who got to vote. Maybe they just assumed it was going to be another biopic like the other music, picks that were out there and I'm not into that. So they didn't vote for it and they didn't give it a chance.
Yep. Could be.
I would watch that one too. I will say that's another one that. So far I would watch the last 3 just because.
Just cause.
I'm not either a big Dylan fan.
No.
That's
kind of before us.
Yeah. And I mean, it's got really cool Minneapolis history in it as well, because he was from Minneapolis. So that was kind of fun to see pop up in the movie. And there's a lot of love and affection for him in this city. So that's always cool too.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm guessing, Amy, that The Substance is not going to be on your playlist either.
No.
And
yet I love that actress.
Yeah.
I really like her.
Maybe you should watch it then.
Yeah, that's one I've missed. I haven't caught that one yet. I want to watch it, but that's one I haven't seen.
Yeah.
So you'll have to tell us all about that, Kitty.
Yeah. So it's basically a horror movie, but it's like horror satire, and it's one of those horror movies that when it starts creeping into the horror aspect of it, you think, oh my god, this is going to be so good, and and keeping in mind, you guys know how much I love horror. So started going down that road and we're all in. But then the satire comes into it and then it sort of starts to lose me. It's very, very outlandish um and weird and disgusting all at the same time. But I kept asking myself the question, why would Demi Moore do this movie? Why would she do this movie?
Well, it was a pretty big cast as well. I mean, there's others in it that this wasn't your typical B actor, horror flick. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it just, she ends up becoming a disfigured monster in the movie, basically, that, implodes, and it's just weird, but it seems to have done good things for her career.
There are times when I have watched things and, like you, question why some of the cast made the choice to be in the film, and I do remind myself that what the script said isn't necessarily what gets presented in the movie. Who knows what's on the cutting room floor that they maybe thought was the thing, and so the writer's vision isn't always the same as the director's vision or the editor or those things. So,
well, I'm not I don't want this to come across as criticizing her. And I think there is something great about doing something that you've never done before. We talked about this on a previous episode about, how there are actors who tend to do the same roles over and over again.
Yeah.
And, what challenge is that after a period of time? And again, no criticism there either, because we love those actors. We love them for the roles that they play. And, I want to sit down and watch Matthew McConaughey take his shirt off and fall in love with someone, fall in love with, what's her name in the beautiful yellow dress. We love those. We love those movies. So I guess, what, good for her for doing something completely different.
Yeah.
Has she been in anything? Has she had such a large role in a while? Like, I can't remember the last movie where she was
I don't know what it would have been.
Player.
No.
Yeah,
which might have had something to do with it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was the leading role. I can see why she would take it. Sure.
Yeah.
Especially if she's not getting offered a lot of other things. Yeah. And in this instance, as odd as that role is, you're right. It's not hurting her career any. So, yeah.
It's curious how actors look at scripts and what they read and go, I have to do this, versus scripts that actors have passed on and, and then
maybe regret.
Yeah.
Oh, can I go on a tangent here? Sure. Can I take us a little, as we talk about actors and roles that they pass on? What do you guys think about actors and actors in general who pass on roles, don't say anything about it, and then a couple years later they're in an interview and then they like to name drop? Well, that was offered to me, but I didn't take it. I love Kate Hudson. I heard her do that about the Anne Hathaway role in The Devil Wears Prada. And for the first time I thought, that didn't come off very good.
Yeah,
And then to follow it up with,
I don't.
oh, I love Annie. Annie did such a great job. That was a little.
Yeah.
I think that was weird. I didn't think
I
that
don't
was
like
good.
it when they bring that up. I mean, you know, you made a mistake by turning it down, so I don't think you get to bring it up and say, "Oh, they wanted me first." Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Oh gosh, that's funny to think about now. If she had been in that role.
Yeah, doesn't seem. Yeah, yeah, she doesn't seem she could pull off the real plain Jane part of it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever,
Yeah.
who knows?
I don't know. I do like it, and I understand why people conducting the interview ask, because it is
Yeah.
really juicy to know.
Yeah.
And there are actors that have said that yes, they regretted not doing,
Mm-hmm.
and that person was so fabulous, and it just worked out all for the best.
Yeah.
I think Jennifer Lawrence gets asked that question a lot, so she must have been up for a lot of roles, or she's also really good about saying, yeah, I auditioned for that, but I didn't get it. They didn't choose me.
Yeah.
That I think is a wonderful way, because you're answering the question, you're saying you wanted it,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
you're being endearing about the whole idea that,
Right.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, even she didn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or other people who just say, oh, of course there are, but I don't need to talk, we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
I like that too. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of weird. So sorry for that little detour.
No, it's
That was
good.
that was a good detour. What else
That's
do
what
we
I'm here
have?
for.
We talked a little bit about Wicked. I think we also saw A Real Pain. That one was a best supporting actor.
I
Right.
did
winner.
watch that.
Right. Not
Okay.
nominated for best movie, but yes,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
for that. I think in the one with Anne, I talked a little bit about Amelia Perez because I had seen that. I liked it. Very interesting movie to say the least. Was the most nominated for 13. Did win 2. Interesting. See, to me, that's an original movie. It was a musical, kind of a dark theme. Just really interesting to me, and I kind of liked it.
Was it nominated for an original screenplay, or was it an
Um,
adaptation? Is there a
I don't know what the 13 are. So 13 nominations would be for a lot of different things, but the 2 it won for was supporting actress Zoe Saldana and best original song El Mal, sung by I don't know who. So
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, I kind of liked it. I would watch it. I obviously watched it. I would suggest you watch it just because it was the most different thing, I think, of all of them for me. So
Okay.
whatever. There was Dune Part 2. So if you love Dune Part 1, which was a big box office hit, you obviously liked Dune Part 2. Not for me. Again, I think it was super long. And nominated for 5, won Best Sound and Best Visual Effects, which I would agree. That would be that category. So interesting that it was, nominated for Best Picture as well, because it was just a, sci-fi type movie.
Kitty, did you watch that?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I'm probably not going to watch that one. I'll
Yeah.
just tell you guys right now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It was more like I suffered through the whole thing just because I watched
The
it.
closest I got to watching Dune was one night when I was scrolling through all my available soundscapes on my Calm app when I went to bed. One of them was Dune Winter and one was Dune Summer. And I tried, and it was just blowing wind. Uh-oh. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Kitty left and now she's back. Oh, she's blinking. We've had some technical difficulties this evening, so just like usual, you just never know what might happen.
You're holding on strong.
I don't know if maybe she can't hear us anymore.
Yeah. What other movies did you watch, Stacy? Are there a couple other ones that we haven't covered yet?
No, the only other two that we haven't talked about are two I didn't see. That's Nickel Boys, which is a drama of two young men incarcerated at an inhumane school for boys in Florida. We're nominated for 2 awards, 1 0. And the last one was I'm Still Here, and at least these are all the 10 that were nominated for Best Picture. Film based on a true story set in 1970s Rio de Janeiro when Brazil was living under military dictatorship. Nominated for 2, won Best International Feature. I think it was, mostly for that reason. I think it was, foreign film,
Included.
probably. Yeah. I think it's hard. I can't see where it's streaming anywhere, so I don't know where you would watch that for sure.
I thought that I saw it as an option.
Oh, did
But
you?
again, by the time I'm ready to watch a movie at night, like I think that was the one that Anne was talking about with the subtitles, but then
Right.
also the audio assist, and they had subtitles over the audio, and it was very challenging. So
I would
maybe
say.
maybe if after I'm done with all my at-home studies.
There you go. You can pick them up, right?
Yeah.
Or at least you have a list.
So I know that this isn't part of the Oscar conversation, but I did hear today that I think Memorial Day weekend, Lilo and Stitch, a live action movie of Lilo and Stitch is opening. Now that was one of my girls' favorite movies when they were little. And that is got awesome soundtrack because it's Elvis. It's Elvis in Hawaii. I'm thinking I might have to go, or at least wait till it's on streaming. I would watch that. How's that for a weird thing coming up? So all of us that probably have kids that are grew up watching that.
Yeah, that age. Yep.
Yeah. Lilo and Stitch.
Cool.
That was one of my favorites. So
yeah.
Well, poor Kitty she looks lovely, by the way.
She does look more than lovely, better than lovely. With her bling. But I don't think she can hear us, and I don't think she's talking. So we'll just look at her and continue on with our conversation.
Yeah. Okay, we kind of talked about all of the the movies and what we should see and what we shouldn't. Right. So with that in mind, we've got still, everybody has some options coming up here of things to do. So what do we think? Do we have shots? Stacy, did you have a shot?
I have I know what one of the things you're going to say, so I'm going to go after you. So you go first.
Oh, I didn't have a shot.
You'll figure out why. I thought you had a comment about something. I don't know.
No, Kitty had a pet peeve she was going to share.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'll go on with me. I would like to suggest we add a new segment to our show called Weirdest Thing on Social Media.
Okay. Oh, is this because of my story that I shared?
Yeah. So my weird thing of the week that I saw was Keith Urban singing Pink Pony Club.
Oh.
Now, it was good. That's not the weird part. I just think it's very weird. Why? Number one, why? Why would he sing it? And, I really like Chapel Roan. I really do. And I really like the song. But Keith Urban singing it, that's a little weird for me. So there you go.
Yeah. The weirdest thing I saw on the internet this week, and I shared it to my Instagram story, was a woman with a manicure that looked just like hard salami holding a sleeve of hard salami. It was so gross. I don't know why. And also, I don't know why my algorithm thought I needed to see that. I don't scroll anything that says, give me manicures that look like food.
I know. I swear some of those things are AI. Like I've seen the one where the pedicure looks like eyeballs. Like, again, really? I don't think so. And I think somebody just did it in AI. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Just
yeah,
very
I think that would be a really good way. Like if you don't have a shot, we can at least share the weirdest thing we saw on the internet.
Weirdest thing we saw, in our opinion. Because of course that's my opinion. I'm sure everyone that likes Keith Urban thought it was fabulous. And it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't. It was just weird for me.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of Keith Urban, I heard a little tidbit on the radio. I got nothing to back this up, folks, but the people in the blinds were talking that Miss Nicole Kidman stepping out with a younger man while Keith Urban is roaming the country looking for the next young country star. But it further said he doesn't care.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. No, I could see that maybe that marriage wasn't going to last. She's been working like a crazy woman for the last 2 years. She's everywhere.
She has. And that full circle back to when we talk about, why do actors pick the movies we do? She is in a million things a year. I think I've brought that up before. And just really all different things, like it's almost like she will take any role,
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, that's my shot then. I'm gonna say. Okay. There's a new season of 9 Perfect Strangers. Is that what it's called?
Yes, 9 Perfect Strangers.
9 Perfect Strangers. Nicole Kidman's this health guru, but she's into psychedelic drugs and microdosing the people, and they're chosen for something specific that they need to get through. I watched that first season. Melissa McCarthy was in it. Some other famous people were in it. Go watch the first season. You've got to be able to find it on one of the streaming services. I actually think it was on Apple or Hulu. It's on Apple or Hulu because I don't have those right now, and I did realize that I'm going to have to re-sign up because the new one is coming out, I think maybe the end of May, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I told you that I hadn't seen it, and I had. Which kind of shows you what I thought of it, because I didn't remember until the first 2 minutes of me watching the first episode. It's like, oh yeah, now I remember it. Yeah, so I've seen it.
I think titles don't reflect on content.
Yeah, no, not really. But that's what it is. There really are 9 perfect strangers when they start. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. So that's I don't know if it's viewing season for everybody. I think that sometimes, it's always viewing season in my world.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yes.
All right. Would love to hear what other people, if they watched any of the Oscar movies since the first conversation that we had, where people came down on what side, what movie did they like, what didn't they like, and would love to hear what we should be watching next.
Yes. I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Are we going to call it is that a wrap?
It is.
All right, people.
Have a good week. Bye-bye.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need an invitation. Knock, knock. I'm about to start a celebration. Let me in. Brought a good time plus some friends. Turn it up loud past 10. Turning up the crowd when I hit 'em.